right, dude. Okay. All right.
Are you ready?
I'm rolling.
I'm rolling.
All right. So, Kelly, this is obviously a delicate moment in our conversation. Things that are fundamentally seen differently by men and by women. And when I speak to men about this, because we're asking men to do a lot. We're asking men to shift the way they've been for thousands of years and to see women as the equals they are and to have the consideration they deserve. Men need to be given a bit of a break, and what they're telling me is that they're afraid we're becoming a tattletale culture. 15 years ago, you put your hand on my skirt, and it's like, when is enough enough? Now, I will concede that maybe actual rape might not have a shelf life or a statute of limitation, but what Al Franken did was relatively minor. What Tom Brokaw did was minor. What Dustin Hoffman did, these that were brought up and then held to public scrutiny on things that were minor and decades ago. That's what I'm talking about. We have to look to you and say, are we partners or not in this society? We don't want a tattletale culture. We must be given the benefit of the doubt as we grow and learn as people, as men. So this is one of the real sticking points. And if you're going to ask men to step up and be different, then women also need to step up and be more supportive and less vindictive and say, I got a tape recording for you from 20 years ago when you were talking about. You can imagine what a tyrannical situation would be for a man to live in.
Correct. May I just say a
Of course.
peep? So, because the pendulum has been so far on this side, where it has been hush-hush, men getting away with stuff, the entitlement, and the women, for the most part, feeling shut in, it becomes their own cross to bear. Somebody like Christine Blasey Ford builds her houses always have two front entrances or exits, so she always has another way to get out of her own house. I mean, having figuring out a way to survive. The Me Too movement is extreme. Every little cockroach is coming out. Every little hidden secret is finding its way. Big, small, ridiculous, and I think the pendulum is having to be this far, where it is kind of overkill. It is loud. It is too much, but I think it is appropriate. And I think once that gets aired out, I think the pendulum will naturally swing more towards the middle, where it won't be every little, you pulled my hair and you touched my arm and you gave me a look that made me. I think this is just, it needs to be this way because it's been so suppressed and so held back. It's like kablam. And then once the kablam happens, I mean, like even right now, the fact that you apologized and I feel less kablammy right now. I feel much softer. I feel much like my own inner pendulum feels much more heading towards balance. So I think that's how things will be. I don't think it's going to be this way forever, but I also think that the message that is getting across to women and men, to everybody, is the issue of accountability. And I think that's a really good thing. We should all, I mean, I feel horrible about, the pizza wasn't the only bad thing I ever did. I mean, there's been a ton of things that I did.
Absolutely.
But it's something, it's actually becomes more of a crippling thing for me to have to get away with something. There's something in the psyche that is like splintered by that. So I think it's good for the psyche, good for the spirit to come into wholeness. So I just wanted to say that little piece. I think the Me Too is bringing up a bunch of stuff, and it's going to come back.
I appreciate what you said, and I agree with almost all of it. The pendulum has swung, and it's necessary. It has to be here, and what this is about is bringing it back to a balance.
Yeah.